Hey guys, what's going on? Kimchi Cowboy here. Today we're going to make a video on my review and my thoughts of the Sig M18 about 3,000 rounds later. I know I have over 3,000, so I'm not exactly sure how many, but I know well over 3,000 rounds with this. And it's one of my favorite handguns that I own. It's probably the one I shoot the best, and it's the one I carry the most as well throughout the years. When I first got this handgun, it was December. I did not have the optic, so I shot it I think one time without the optic, and then February I ended up getting this optic. It's this Romeo 1 Pro, so it's the metal one, not the plastic. And I absolutely fell in love with it. There's a TLR 7A. It's an okay light. It's not the brightest. If I knew at the time, I probably would have get a different one now. But it's on here. It's what fits my holster. Speaking of holsters, it is the Tier 1 concealed. It's what I mainly carry. I shoot the best with it, like I said before. The gun overall is super flat for me. Super balanced. I can do the quickest splits with follow-up shots with it compared to the Glock and the XL. The XL is a little snappier. This seems to be a lot flatter shooting. The trigger is OEM because I'm a firm believer in keeping OEM triggers for guns that you carry. I don't want to have like a super light trigger, competition trigger or anything like that. I just want OEM. And overall, I know this trigger pretty well. There's a little bit of creep. And then you have a bit of not wall resistance, but firm resistance. And then there seems to be a bite point where you feel it like grab like a clutch, and that's when it breaks. Trigger, overall, I don't mind it at all. Is it the best trigger out there? Probably not. Some things that I have a gripe with is the undercut under here is not the best. It's not the deepest. So after a while, the inside of your middle finger knuckle starts to get raw from this little section here. The slide release, even though it is ambidextrous for you lefties, is a little bit small compared to everything else on the handgun, so the safety is quite big, but the slide release is pretty small. Took a little bit of time to get used to because in the beginning I would just rack the slide with my hand and then realize that's killing me on time. And something I've realized is if I rest my thumb when I do a reload on the safety, because the safety is already down for this, when I throw the new mag in, I could just use the front of my thumb to send the slide home. So once I figured that out, not a big issue at all. Now people who do shoot this gun, their biggest gripe is probably the safety because they're not used to one.
Do you keep your safety on?
I do.
Really?
See, okay.
Super gay.
Yeah.
They pull the trigger, nothing happens, safety's on. Oh, why do you have a safety on a handgun, blah, 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 striker fire, no, you don't need a safety, Glocks have no safety, your XL has no safety. I don't mind it, military issue, they have a safety, they wanted it. I find when I do transitions and running now, moving, I throw the safety on just to make sure I don't have that discharge. My finger somehow goes into the trigger guard and I pull the trigger while running. So when I'm moving, transitioning, it's pretty easy. It's just like putting it on your shorts, you know, it's really easy. You don't think about it, you just do it. And that's what I do with the safety, second nature to me. I have the .0 to 15 yards. I find that just works for me. Like I said, I shoot the best with this. So I was doing 6 shots at 15 yards on a redacted D zone target. My fastest time was a 3.33 from the draw, 3.33 seconds. And I would say roughly I was averaging 3.4, 3.6. So yeah, with the XL, it's super snappy, so it's harder for me to do follow-up shots. Glock doesn't have the red dot, so it's actually pretty hard for me with those irons. I was the slowest with the Glock for sure. But for some reason, this gun, I'm just, from the draw, this is what I've dry fired the most with, this is what I've practiced and shot the most with, and I just have the most time through this gun, and I thoroughly enjoy it. This was actually my first FTE gun, and now I have 2 more. I fell in love with the color of FTE, so the Ruger American is FTE, and my Aero Precision EPC9 is an FTE, and I do not think that'll be my last FTE purchase in the future. Another gripe that I have, it's more of a cosmetic one, is that the carbon buildup gets caked on there. It's super hard to clean, but it definitely shows that I use this handgun. The Cerakote job from drawing and all that, from concealment, is starting to fade away on the little serrations on the front of the barrel. That's whatever, but I think those are my main 2 gripes are the undercut of the trigger guard and the front buildup of black carbon. than for others that are new to shooting this is the safety. Reason you probably clicked on this is one, either you're just interested in knowledge about the M18 or you're looking to buy one. I think you should definitely see if your local gun range has one that you can rent, or you know someone that owns one. Shoot it, see what you think, because once again, handguns are subjective. Me, personally, coming from a Glock, I fell in love with this, like I said before. Now it's my main squeeze, my main carry. Well balanced, overall well weighted. When you have the 21 round mag and the 17 round mag all loaded up though for concealed carry, it is heavy. You can tell in the very beginning carrying, there's a lot of weight. I don't notice that anymore. It's kind of second nature, but it definitely is heavy. Speaking of heavy, and I guess going back to another gripe, is Sig mags. I don't understand why they have to be $50 a piece and no one makes aftermarket ones, but when you start buying a lot of Sig mags, these get expensive. I have 4 extra M18 mags, so that's $200, and I have 6 extra XL mags, so that's $300. That's $500 just for magazines, whereas a Glock mag costs $20, $25. Don't understand it. But yeah, that is my overall thought of Sig M18 3,000 rounds later. It shoots really flat for me. It eats everything. I've shot steel, I've shot nickel cased, I've shot regular hollow points through it and brass, and it eats everything. There has been 0 malfunctions of this gun unless it is user error. I've done plenty of double feeds because I've dropped the slide too early when reloading. There's never been any malfunction, failure to eject, or anything like that. Now granted, I haven't dropped it in the mud, I haven't rolled it around in the dirt, I've yet to shoot in the rain, but 0 malfunctions through this gun. The XL had 2 malfunctions, I think the first rain trip, because it wasn't lubed at all, and it was the showroom floor one, so that thing was bone dry. I cleaned this about every 1,000 rounds. Okay, so it's been cleaned 3 or 4 times, and it just is a tank. It shoots everything, it shoots well for me. I'm consistent with it, and overall, great handgun that I thoroughly enjoy. And I think if you're on the fence about buying one, you should do it. Because one, if you buy it, more than likely you will find someone who wants to buy it off you later down the road. The resale value, I think, of these are great. Pair it with an RMR or just an optic of choice, and this gun transforms into almost what I could say, you don't even need a full size. Like this could do everything you want. I don't see me ever needing a Sig full size. I do want a Glock 17 in the future, but if I had to just pick this out of the 3 that I own to just completely own and carry and use on the battle belt and all that, this would be it. Even though I love my Glock, this would be it. So a lot of people also do the Wilson Combat Grip, and my buddy Zach has that. I think I like this one more just because of these finger indentations, and it just fits a little bit better in my hand. The Wilson Combat Grip is a little thicker. I don't have the biggest hands, and I just find that my hands wrap and hold this grip much better. If you guys have any questions, please comment down below. I'll do my very best to answer them. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe if you're new here, help the channel grow, help spread the popularity of this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.